Kanawage, Cody Diabo back again with the next part in that ongoing series for the ACM updates to show you the processes on how we remove remediations, soil characterizations in the future. So right here I have with me Lance McCumber. He is actually the project coordinator for the asbestos working group. He is also trained at removing pieces when they're found. So Lance is going to walk through a step on how to do it. We have pieces on the ground that we had just found, but we put them out so people can see to get an idea of maybe what the pieces look like. And as you can see, you know, Lance doesn't have a mask on. He's not in a hazmat suit. I don't have a hazmat suit on. It's, you know, those are all precautionary steps, but relatively, you know, the risk of any kind of exposure is very low. And Lance is going to demonstrate just the procedures that we're using just to make sure for tracking purposes, collecting it properly, just so that it doesn't get put somewhere that it shouldn't be at this point, you know, trying to correct the mistakes from the past. So I'll turn it over to Lance and he can show you what's going on.
Hey, how's it going? So yeah, we have a couple pieces here. They were previously picked up in this area. I just put them back out on the ground so you can easily see them. Do you mind zooming in a little bit there? So this is what it looks like there. It sometimes can be very difficult to see from the on the ground there. So that's why I pulled these out. The big issue that you're more concerned about is those edges there. So for that reason, I'm wearing gloves. Again, I'm not wearing a mask, but if I found a whole bunch of small shards, I would get it. It's in my car. I always have it with me on hand if need be. So it goes into a 6 mil bag that's labeled asbestos containing materials. That's the process. I tie this up, gooseneck. This will go into a second bag. The reason that we have a second bag is this way in case this first one gets punctured. So normally this would be duct taped and everything properly. Goes in there. I will tape this one up nice and tight, and I will write all the information I have on here. The lot, the date, who picked it up, and any other important details, roughly the amount of weight to have it. The biggest reason why we do this is so we have record keeping processes. We know where it is. We know when it was picked up. It's important to additionally have a rough idea where it is, because when we do the remediation or any other soils characterization in the future, we may have to go back and find in the same exact location where we picked up pieces, because it may indicate that there's more in that one area. So very simple process, not a ton to be worried about. A lot of it is data collecting and making sure that we deal with this properly. After this part, the next thing that will happen is we have a shipping container near the town garage, and we just put that in there. Each one has its own identification there, and once that's filled up, we bring it out to a specialized company for proper disposal. Cody?
Okay, thank you, Lance. So as you can see, the process to remove it is fairly simple. They are trained. There's a handful of people through MCK who are trained. So just going forward, that's, you know, things that we want to do now to show you. So if you have anxieties about it, if you see it in the ground, you know, you don't have to, you know, automatically think that you're exposed or you're affected or you're going to get sick. You know, the material itself, that the asbestos is contained within that, but of course, because it's been broken, the edges do pose, I wouldn't say pose a risk, but the risks are elevated, and there's the potential that maybe fibers could be loose. So everything is done properly now, and going forward, we have standards that we've developed that we're pushing to make sure that this doesn't happen again.